Hello everybody and welcome to the final third, and today we've got a bit of a special video. It's a Manchester United based video. All Man United, no other club. So you may be pissed when we talk about Man United in the other videos, but this one's a full Man United one. So if you don't want to watch it, leave. But nah, it's a full Man United video. So we have a special guest on. Al, if you want to introduce yourself, Ali.
My name is Ali, aka OK Ali. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me onto the final third. One excellent podcast. I'm blessed to be here, man.
Come on, my man. Appreciate you for coming on.
Of course, bro.
Yeah. Well, we need to spread the play. Bring on more people because we need more interesting opinions. Because we need it to keep it fresh. Do you get me? Before we get started, Al, do you want to reveal the player from the last video?
The player from the last video was Ramirez, Chelsea legend, I'd say. And we'll do the new quiz at the end of the video.
Perfect. Yeah. So let's just jump straight into it. I think there's multiple things we can talk about with Man United. We know how big they are. We know how much we can talk about. But the first and most important thing are the players that are on the pitch, the guys that do the work on the pitch. Not very good the last couple of years. But Ali, since you're the guest, we just wanted to sort of see what you think about the players. Are there any players you think, we should keep? Players you think we should sell? What are you thinking about the players?
I think one player who's played one game that's already impressed me is Mr. Lamens, the man in goal. Because having Onana, having Bayern there in the past, the amount of liabilities, the amount of goals we've conceded, this Onana brother, single-handedly got us knocked out of the Champions League, single-handedly lost us the game against Grimsby, which is probably the most embarrassing defeat that we've had in probably the last decade. Up there with, when we lost to Derby County under was it Louis van Gaal?
Mourinho, I think.
Maybe it was Mourinho, but regardless, that is not a record that we should have. Losing to a team like Grimsby is embarrassing. I'm so happy we've got a keeper who looks confident, who looks like, he can make decent saves from the ball, can catch the ball from crosses, which is something for some reason none of our keepers have been able to do since De Gea.
Well, to be fair, even I'll add on to that. Like, I think De Gea wasn't even well known for claiming crosses. Like, he was a great shot stopper, but I wouldn't say he's coming and plucking the ball out of the air. But one game, not bad. Al, what do you? Sorry, there's two Alis now, isn't it? I don't know how I'm supposed to do this. Hassan, what do you think about Lamens and
he was great in his debut game. He provided a lot of control of the defense. Obviously settled a lot of the chances they had on goal, because a lot of times Bayern, they'll just parry it into another attacker or just do a silly mistake. So it was great to see him being confident on the ball. Even on his debut, he felt confident. He was commanding the defenders, shouting at them and stuff. He's kind of asserting his dominance. He wasn't afraid to let his opinion be known. But I feel just our goalkeepers in the previous years have been lacking. Bayern there, he's very weak. I feel in the box as well. He's not physical enough. I don't know how tall he is. He's 6'4" or something, and he just acts like he's 5'10". It's just he gets bullied in the box so easily. And Onana, the less I speak about him, the better, because we all know how terrible he is. So I think it's best I just move swiftly on from him. But it's just ironic, every United player that leaves United just does well. Onana's doing well with what team is it? Turkish. I forgot the Turkish team. I don't know.
Trabzonspor, I think.
Yeah, it starts with a T. That's all I remember. And then you have Rasmus Højlund right now. He's scored again today as well. He's just
incredible right now, man.
Yeah, his form right now is just unreal. There's not much I can say about him. You also got likes of Rashford as well. Rashford's doing well for Barcelona. So we're just a cursed club, man. As De Gea said it as well. We're just cursed, man. I don't know what else to say really, but the Sonny Lamens was good, and he's a young goalkeeper. He's still got time to improve. But I just hope he becomes a number one in the future, just like a young Thibaut Courtois or De Gea, because we had De Gea for a numerous amount of years, and he just became a number one. I feel the more he stays, hopefully the more experience he gains, and becomes the number one. But in regards to Sonny Lamens, that's what I think.
Yeah, great answer. He comes in. Listen, it's only one game, but he looked comfortable. Didn't at Old Trafford as your first game, you thought you'd be a bit nervous, against a promoted side who are doing very well. Came in and looked comfortable, to be fair. Butcher, that's what we're gonna call West Ham, Ali. Obviously, you're not a Man United fan. You're the only Man United fan, not non-Man United fan in the podcast at the moment. Are there any players that you see as, obviously we're an unbiased opinion, that you think, let's say you wanted at West, you think would be great at West Ham?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we already have one of the players from United, Wan-Bissaka. Last season he was West Ham's player of the season. Unfortunately, he's had a poor start to the season. But if we're looking at the team that you've got now and who I'd want from there, probably it's hard to say. I mean, you could obviously say Bruno because he's probably the best United player at the moment and has been for years. But who could we do with? Probably De Ligt, if I'm being honest, because we are so awful defensively. That man would like completely transform the defense that we have at the moment. To be honest, I would even I'd take any of your centre backs at this point. Just give me a goddamn centre back to replace Mavropanos and Kilman. But look, to be fair to United this season, they're starting. You could see there's some good players. They got a bit of confidence. Obviously, you've been talking about the goalkeeper, Lamens. He does look like it's only one game, so we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But he was pretty good in the game the other day. One thing I wanted to say, with De Gea, that a lot of people forget that towards the end of his tenure with United, that a lot of people wanted him out, and they completely turn 180 on their opinion about that. It drives me crazy when I see a bunch of people doing compilations, edits about De Gea, when they were probably the same people that wanted him out towards the end.
Same thing with Oli as well, bro. You see people making Oli ball edits and now they want Amram out, But then in 5 years later, when we get a manager who's also struggling, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I wish Amram stayed." The snakes.
It's the same with every player, man. You see Rashford edits, you see Højlund edits. Even now, being like, this guy's running the Champions League, like purple patch Højlund. It's oh, come on, man! You can't just switch up on players as soon as they leave.
Yeah, 100%. Literally just. If you want them out, you have to stick to that opinion. Don't start switching on it now when they start doing good in another team. But look, it's obvious, you could tell that a lot of these players just can't handle the pressure of playing for United. And obviously, the problem is I feel like as a player coming to United, if you don't get off to a good start, it's wraps for you. You know what I mean? Because the pressure just starts building up straight away, whether it's from the fans or whether it's just the league, because the league is such a hard league to play in. But you could clearly tell, like Højlund, obviously, he came in and he's already so young, hardly played much, at a high, level, and then he's just been brought in to try and save United in that sense, up front, and he wasn't obviously getting the chances either, which doesn't really help him. But obviously he's now ripping up at Napoli. But he's just one of the examples, of course, of these players that are leaving the club and just going on to do well. Onana, another one, he's been getting God knows how much abuse over the last year or two since he's come in. Rightly so. I mean, he's been woeful. But he's clearly found his level in the Turkish league. Good for him, I guess. Sure, Bayern will probably be joining him soon, going back to the Turkish league. But we'll see about that anyway. But that's
again, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's my opinions on the player, but I'd love to have De Ligt. I think he's been one of the most underrated players, to be fair, at United since he's come in.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, to be fair, what I will say with looking at De Ligt and our defensive sort of centre backs, I'd say that's probably been one of the most solid parts of our team. We got a prospect in Lenny Yoro, who unbelievable young footballer. To be fair, is he still a teenager?
He's 19,
yeah,
he's 19.
Still do you know what I mean? Real Madrid wanted him to come to Man United. It's mad, isn't it? He's come in.
Bro, we ain't even got Lisandro Martinez back yet, bro. That guy's incredible.
Lisandro, Yoro, and De Ligt. Call it a day. Yeah, that's because to be fair, Luke Shaw, he's one of the players I think we should probably consider getting out of the club. Only because, he's a left back and he's filling in at centre back. Okay, he's not the worst player in the world, but he has made loads of mistakes. If you look at the Man City game, I'm sure you guys saw that. Yeah, it was 90. Pretty much all the goals were on him.
I think that's Amram's fault, bro. He plays so many players out of position. Even Bruno, the way he's utilising him this season, it's been horrendous. We know what Bruno can do, what he's capable of when he's in that 10 role. The way that Amram's been using players this season doesn't make any sense to me. Even 100%. Playing Shaw at centre back. Come on, bro. Why are you doing that?
To be fair, I just think that it's with Luke Shaw, he hasn't got the legs anymore. Think about it. If he goes on one crazy run, he's going to pull his hamstring or something. Do you know what I mean?
He's too injury prone.
With all due respect, he's gained so much weight. We always knew he was a bit of a chunky boy. Like,
Aye.
you know what I mean? Yeah, all the memes about Burger
wanna say-
King
they
and
wanna be harsh,
McDonald's
bro.
and all that. Because there was one
Yeah.
time, I swear, he was in Burger King and they started chanting about him. Do you know what I mean?
Your mum's on
It was
benefits.
mad. Yeah, your mom's on benefits. Oh, don't get me started. But I feel like our players, they always do these like things. They try to get on trends and then they just become a meme. It always happens. Yeah.
So who's gonna
I
want
think-
him? Like, who's gonna want him? Like,
exactly.
maybe like a Burnley, like the way Kyle Walker went to them. But like I think, bro, no one's gonna want him because he's too old. He's too injury prone. Yeah, but like obviously, on his day, he's a great player. Like let's give him his credit. But you know, it's been a long time since he's been on his day. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
obviously,
Do you know what it is? I think, obviously, we talked about the defense and how that's been probably one of our best parts. Obviously, Lemen's looking good now, as we talked about. Obviously, probably our main issue is the midfield. Now, I don't know what you lot think about that. Obviously, Ali was mentioning about Bruno playing in midfield and how he can't do that. First and foremost, you don't have a partner alongside him. You bring in anyone. And then there's that young man, Kobe Mainu. Ali, you need to talk about Kobe Mainu. What are you thinking about that?
Bro, you see Kobe Mainu, that breakout season that he had on the Ten Hag. It's like when you see that one girl at the airport, bro, and you never see her again, fam. That's what it's feeling like right now, bro. Like, it's looking like we're never going to see that type of Kobe Mainu, that winner against Wolves, the winner in the FA Cup, the goal in the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. The goal against Liverpool as well. Bro, the way that this guy was scoring bangers, dribbling, controlling the midfield at that young age, broke into the England team during the Euros as well. Like, it's actually insane. And now the way Amorim just looking at him, wasting him on the bench, doesn't make sense to me, to be fair. But I guess it's also a thing of like, he can't play that role of like CDM where he's like only defending, which is kind of what Amorim needs right now, which is why he relies more on players like Casemiro and Ugarte, who in my opinion are both washed. I don't know what you man think about Ugarte, bro. Sometimes I watch him play, he might be a terrorist, bro. Like, I actually do not know what he's trying to do on the pitch. Like, the amount of mistakes he makes, just gives the ball away. Oh, our midfield is low-key horrendous, to be fair, but we can't really do anything right now.
Yeah, agreed. You know, like, to be fair, you say about Ugarte, me and Hassan have actually defended him quite a bit, because for me, like, if I'm honest, I watch him play. He's a side-to-side footballer, but I think he's got something. I don't think he's a starting midfielder at all. Like, you need somebody that can do the whole package, you know? Like, obviously, we were linked to Belieber. He's a whole package type of player.
Yes.
Attack, defend, strong. Obviously, Ugate's got, like, bits of it. Like, he can tackle. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, Fred was better than him, if we're honest with you. Do you remember?
Yeah, bro, Fred, McTominay, both of them are better, man, on the actual level. And even
It's mad,
like Casemiro, going back to when his first few seasons for us when he joined
he was
under like
class,
Ten Hag and stuff, bro, that's a world class player right there. Like, we need that kind of Casemiro back, or a player that can replicate that style of play. But I just don't see it happening. Even this January, I don't think we're gonna sign anyone like that, to be fair.
Yeah. Do you, Hassan? Do you think there is a player that can come in and be as impactful as Ali was making out?
What, in terms of that midfield, you'd say, or
Like, let's say
in
you wanted
general?
to make. Let's say you have one midfield signing. You wanted them to come in. Obviously, be realistic with it as well.
Yeah.
Is there one player you think would come in and sort of transform that midfield?
There's obviously one name, Belieber. We've talked about him, but I feel like he's too expensive. Obviously, I think Adam Morton's also very good. He gives me like Declan Rice vibes. He's very good. You know, I'd say he's more physical than Belieber. Belieber's a bit more, you know, agile. Probably got a bit more, you know, technical ability on the ball. But I think Adam Morton is just a conventional number 6. You know, like what would you expect from, you know, a tall, strong player who can, you know, provide a lot defensively as well. But I think it is quite hard to single out a single player. I feel like we need more than just one player in the midfield, because I think Bruno, obviously he's our main player, but he's forced to do everything, like defending, attacking, and he's not the most like disciplined player. He's all over the pitch sometimes, you know what I mean? So like, I feel like we need a player who knows what his role is and just stays in that role. I feel like Bruno as a number 10, you can go wherever you want, you know, you could go into spaces and whatever, but I feel like for a number 6 you kind of have to stay in a position, you know, because the moment you got a position, the opposition is going to break through your press and just attack you, you know, straight away. So you need to be careful, to be honest, in regards to midfielder. But yeah, as I think Ali said as well about Amorim forcing Bruno to play a position that that's definitely on Amorim. Like, you cannot play him every single week as a number 6 or number 8. That's not his role. Like, we know Bruno's not a defender. We just wasted him over there. We didn't sell him to Saudi just to play him in a role that he's not used to. Like, it's a waste for me, in my opinion. Like, if you're gonna play a player in that position who's not in that role, at least sell him and then make money and get a player that can play that position. Because in my opinion, you're wasting Bruno in that position. Now he's getting stick. He's basically the scapegoat right now. Everyone's spreading hate on Bruno, and I feel that's unfair to Bruno. Because he's trying his best, but we know that he's not number 6. So I think that Amorim needs to sort out, to be honest. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can sort out. To be fair, there is sort of one part of the team, another part of the team. To be fair, we said the defense was good. The attack, it's looking interesting to say the least. There's certain aspects of the attack you can say. Mbeumo has come in. He's looked decent, to be fair. But Butcher, do you think we talked about like when we signed Cunha and Mbeumo? Did we really need that? Obviously, we're playing Bruno a lot deeper. Ahmad's playing wing back. Could we invested in a midfielder and a potential wing back, and played those two in the cam positions?
To be honest, to be fair to Hassan and you, Hals, as well, you've talked about off the podcast before as well, with the fact that especially Hassan, he's talking about maybe you did need side Mbeumo, considering that you do have Bruno who can play that cam position, and I think he might be right in that, to be fair. And I obviously before the season started and even in pre-season, it didn't really seem like a big issue, but obviously it's you can't always rely on pre-season to really tell you how the team's going to do. I mean, we've both kind of seen that with both of our clubs, to be honest. But look, I think you would have been better off not buying Mbeumo and probably buying a CDM, maybe whether it's a Baliba, Wharton, whoever, but just someone to fill that role. Obviously, this is all hindsight. Again, like we said, pre-season, it didn't really seem like a problem. That's probably why they didn't think about doing it. But obviously, it's quite clear now that it's probably one of the biggest issues in the team. Whether they do anything about it in January is the big question. I think realistically, if they can somehow get someone like Wharton or Baliba or just anyone that's pretty decent in the CDM role, it could possibly turn the season over. I know, to be fair, you've got to win, and the only problem is you've got Liverpool next, which is going to be a hard game. But again, if you get someone like that in January, it could possibly turn it around for Amorim and the team and everything. So I to be fair, I think you shouldn't have signed Mbeumo, to be fair. And to be fair, it took so long to get that deal done, and the amount you ended up paying for him. I know he's a great player, but I think, what was it, 70 odd mil? I don't know if that's worth it for him. He's been great. But I think it's just considering that you had Bruno, I don't see what the point was in spending all that money on another cam. Well, I don't even know if he was originally a cam, if you know what I mean, when he was at Brentford. But obviously he can play that role. But again, I don't know. I just don't think it was worth spending that much money. I said
the same with Højlund as well. I wanted to keep him for another season just to see, with the new signings, can he do better? Because now look at him, he's doing really well. I even told the boys, they even remember.
Criminal, man.
Yeah. I even told the boys. I told them if we keep Højlund for one season, at least see what he's capable of, and then.
Because realistically, who do we even have as backup for Sesko? People are gonna say, "Oh, put Cunha up front," but
Xerxes as well.
Bro. Yeah,
but he's not a striker. Yeah,
nah, he's not. That's the thing.
I've heard stuff about West Ham being interested in Xerxes. I don't know how certain that rumor was. I just saw a little rumor about that. And to be fair, I wouldn't mind him. Obviously, what's going on with him? Is he injured still or what?
No, I don't know.
No, he just ain't playing.
Ages, bro.
He has to play. He's such a good dribbler.
He was,
bro. He's
because even he could. Do you reckon he could probably play the cam as well? You know what I mean? Again, I don't know why he signed in Burma. He's literally towards the end. I mean, everyone was calling him a 9.5 instead of a 9 or a 10. You know what I mean? In that sense, I don't know why the hell he brought him in Burma, especially when he was showing good signs, Xerxes, towards the end as well. And I was 100% thought Amorim would stick with him and But there you go. I guess again, all hindsight, innit? But what can you do?
I feel one of the biggest problems, like you've already said, is the price tags, bro. The amount that we pay for these players. Look at players that have come in the past, bro. Even players like Anthony, Sancho, who both of them I think could have done really well at United, but just because of their price tags, people expected so much. They expected a completely different, like, world-class level. And it's the same with Mbeumo now, it's the same with Cunha now. People are going to be expecting, if we're paying, like, what, 60, 70 million for these players, bro, you expect them to be scoring, like, week in, week out. Like, for me, Mbeumo should be scoring week in, week out. And the fact he's not, I don't want to say he's disappointed me, because he has played really well this season. He's been really good on the ball. He's created a lot of chances. Probably been one of our best attacking players, to be honest. But, like, he's just not getting that, like, final product or that end product. I'm happy that Sesko started scoring now, because he's another player who we absolutely overpaid for. Like, bro, we can't be spending this much money on these kind of unproven players, if that makes sense.
100% agree.
I was just gonna say, because I remember Carl saying, like, about the ownership and, like, how they've started to change, like, the philosophy in terms of buying players and, like, not spending so much money on them. But, like, let's be fair, that has not happened whatsoever. It's just as bad as it is. I don't want to say worse, because I mean, like, 100 mil for Anthony is haram, to say the least.
Yeah, I agree.
It was 100 million
You know, the
euros.
strange thing is, I remember the policy and what it came out on like X and all that. They were saying that we're going to invest in young players and we're not going to spend stupid money. I mean, they kind of went out the window. I know Cunha and Mbeumo aren't that old, you know, they're not crazy old, but like the age range was like maximum 23 years old, and that's the only type of signing we're going to make. Obviously, that's already gone out the window. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, to be fair to them, they signed where's that?
Diego Leon.
Obviously, it's not. No, not Diego Leon. Like, literally
Dogu?
recently.
Oh, recently.
The
Of course,
Colombian
name.
guy.
Like,
Yeah.
innit? Yeah, like.
Starts with C. His name starts with a C, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Because he wasn't the only one. They've signed like a couple of people kind of on the low.
yeah, we've done this so many times, though.
But like, to be
Palestri
fair,
as
even
well.
Diego Leon, where's he gone, bruv? I've seen him like
That's what I'm
one
saying.
game. I can't even
Yeah.
remember. And then that's
Or even players like Aiden Heaven and stuff, like, we're never going to see them, like, breaking
Yeah,
the
that's
first
a mad
team
one, to
out.
be fair. How is he not playing
Yeah.
with Luke Shaw?
Exactly.
It's mad.
Yeah.
I think that might be one of the most disappointing things from Amorim, not playing as many youngsters as I thought he would, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, especially because United have been so well known for the academy and, like, obviously the class of '99 in it and stuff like that. You'd think, like, he'd bring in some youngsters, especially considering that you're, like, for example, the CDM role. Maybe there might be someone in the academy that could come and at least
100%.
try. Obviously, you never want to chuck these kind of kids into the deep end, and they never help. It might not help their career if obviously they start off not playing well, and then the pressure piles on. But again, like, what are you losing, bro? If no one's playing well already, for me, it was kind of the same thing with Lamens, and, like, I'm surprised he didn't play him earlier. But maybe it was a masterclass.
Doesn't make
from
sense.
him.
Yeah.
Could've been
There's two things I want to say as
We
well.
started him too late.
There's two
Why
things I
is
want to say
he
as well.
playing
Like, the
like-
media, yeah. First thing about media, right? Verts, his price tag is disgusting, right? And, like, Jadon Sancho, when he came in, he was expensive, right? But they're getting, Sky Sports doing 007 and all this rubbish and all that. And everyone's quiet about Verts. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, when you play for United, the pressure from media is just over the roof, you know what I mean? Yeah. And second thing is, since we're Iraqis, we saw the Iraq game yesterday. One player we want to talk about as well is Zidane Iqbal. He had a very good performance.
Big up.
Yeah, he had a very good performance against Indonesia. Obviously scored the winning goal. And I think that was one player that Ten Hag let go too early. We saw promising signs of him in the preseason in Australia. He was great. If you remember that skill he did against one of the defenders, I think it was like a roulette.
Oh, it was
skill.
Liverpool. He was controlling the midfield.
Yeah, and Liverpool as well, bro. Against the likes of Salah and Fabinho, he was controlling the midfield, man. Like, he was, for a youngster like that, he was great. I'm not saying this with, like, bias. Maybe I'm a little bit biased because United and Iraqi, but, like, he's just a class player, man. He looks very controlled on the ball, and he's a number 6 as well. He's a DM, which is what we need. So I feel like a young player like that, I don't know if we have back closer for him. I don't know if we can still get him, but I feel like as a player like that on the bench who can learn off, certain players, or like of Casemiro, for example, I feel like he could develop to a very good player, and that's someone we definitely need. And I feel like letting him go was a bit, too much of a rash decision by Ten Hag, because I think he sold him under his agency as well, which is a bit dodgy. Like, I just feel like Ten Hag just wanted to sell him on for no reason. I
think it's more one of those things where, like, I see, like, Chelsea, they do it a lot. Obviously, you look at how, like, to be fair, like, Ten Hag obviously has the connection with Utrecht, and obviously that's why they sold him to, and I think we sold another youngster to them too. It's like the way that Chelsea are doing it was what's the other club? Strasbourg, I think. Is that how you say it?
Strasbourg.
Strasbourg.
Yeah.
So they sell on to them or they loan out to them, and then they just see if the player succeeds or not. You don't succeed, you don't buy them back. If they do well,
Basically,
then you buy
Chelsea
them back. You don't buy
Academy,
back
at
yours.
that point.
Pretty much, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And to be fair, they're doing very well. But listen, I think we could talk about the players all day. But I think we should move on to one of the biggest topics right now. Mr. Rúben Amorim. We talked about him already in the video, but Ali, in or out?
I think right now, I have to say Amorim in, just because I'm tired of sacking managers, bro. I'm actually tired of it. Even if we finish like 13th again, like fair play, I'll actually farm it, because I want to see what a manager can do with a good amount of time, with a good amount of backing from the board, with, you know, getting to know the squad, getting to know what kind of players he can use in the system, what kind of players can play in which position. And to be fair to him, if you look at us in the league right now, the position is not terrible. Like, it's not like we've been losing every game. Fair enough, some of the wins have been a bit dodgy, like that Burnley win. What was it? Like 3-2, I think.
3-2,
We scored a penalty,
Yeah, 3-2.
last minute. Like, fair enough, it's a bit dodgy. And even the Chelsea game was like proper battle. Like, that was a scrape. We scraped that game, I'm not going to lie. And even the Sunderland's probably been his best performance, I don't want to say ever, because I think I was at Old Trafford for Amorim's first Prem game against Everton. We won 4-0. I think that's been his best performance so far. But that was his first Premier League game. And if you look at that to where he is now, I think the argument is that there's not really been much growth. The progress is not showing. There's not been enough to be like, oh, this is the guy that we have to keep, kind of thing. But there was definitely a point where I was Amorim out, bro. I'm not going to lie. Like, there was a point I was thinking, this guy must have Jim Ratcliffe's kids hidden in Portugal on some Madeleine McCann type thing, bro. Because, like, he must have been holding them hostage. Because I don't know how, after that Grimsby game, I was losing my head, to be honest with you.
I don't blame you, yeah, because we were the same. Obviously, we were reacting to it as, obviously, you know, I think we did the podcast literally straight after the game. I lost my head, to be honest with you, and yeah, rightfully so. That game was so poor.
Can I say something? Yeah, no, sorry. Sorry to interrupt, but I was just going to say something about on Amorim and the whole managerial situation now that we're talking about the manager. Like, to be fair, even the start of the season you lot have had, I think the reason this looked so bad is genuinely just because of that Grimsby game, if you know what I mean. I think that's made the whole season look even worse than it has been. And I mean, even Ali said it about with that game, it's probably just on Onana, really, more than the rest of the team. I think if you had someone like Lamens in goals in that game, it probably is a comfortable-ish win. Even if it's not a high-scoring win, it probably would have been like a comfortable 1-0, 2-0, whatever. Probably get through that game, and no one's saying anything about the season. But solely because you had that loss, I think that's like made the season look even worse than it is. I mean, you guys have 7 points. I think that, and the league's quite tight at the moment. You know what I mean? I think one win and you're up like probably going up like a couple of positions already off a win. You know what I mean? And realistically, if you exactly, yeah, 3 wins, bro.
Yeah,
I'll put him behind Chelsea as well.
I'd do anything to have the same amount of points United have right now. You know, you know what I mean? Like, bro, if you think you don't have a bad, how do you think I feel? You know
No, your start for the season, I can't lie. I thought you were going to get relegated.
Sunderland, yeah.
Bro, do you know what I'll say as well with because like a lot, like you guys, you've been trying to defend Amorim. I had a similar situation when I was with Potter. Like at the start of the season, I tried to defend him because he didn't have a midfield. Like they didn't buy any midfielders for him. You know what I mean? So I tried to defend him on that point. But it's kind of like you want to defend them, but then when they keep making like some dumb ass mistakes and like decisions, like oh my god, some of the lineups that guy.
Yeah, Amorim's subs were bad as well. At some points. I'm convinced Paul was just trying to, test my mental health, see how far he can take it, bro. Because Jesus Christ, those lineups he was putting out, bro. I mean, you saw the memes. You saw the memes of him. You know what I mean? Like well-deserved memes. And to be fair, they make me laugh when they were putting his face on people like Osama bin Laden and like Kim Jong Un and stuff like that.
Well, like, bro, honestly, if to be fair, I hope United can and Amram can pull it back a bit and start to win more games, because if he doesn't, it's probably going to be Amram's faces on these kind of people.
Yeah, literally.
I'm still, bro. You know what I mean?
I think another.
I think just before we move on to Hassan's opinion, Al, if obviously you're unbiased, which is a good thing for this video, because I think me, Ali, and Hassan, we're just going to be chatting rubbish, really, just out of pure feeling,
Yeah.
I think with you, you're going to be a bit more level-headed. Are you, as like a rival fan, right? Do you see Rúben Amorim as a threat, if that makes sense? And that will sort of give us the answer of whether you think he should be in or out.
100%, bro. 100%. Anyone that says they don't see Man United and Amorim as a threat are just stupid, yeah? Like, again, you guys aren't even playing that bad. Obviously, look, you had even I remember the Arsenal result. Obviously, you didn't win that game, but you had a good performance. It shows that this team can pull out a good performance. Something that I think United players and just the team in general have had over the years is the mentality in certain games. For some reason, they seem to have the right mentality in the big games and not in the smaller games, if you know what I mean. The only season where in recent time where I felt the mentality was kind of correct, if you know what I mean, was probably under Ten Hag in his first season. Obviously, you guys came third, and that was everyone probably thought that was going to be, that was going to be it. He was going to be the manager to take you back. You know what I mean, back to your glory days. But well, never ended that way. Actually, went the complete opposite to what probably people thought it would. But yeah, I completely forgot what you even asked me. To be fair, well, what was the question?
Do you think Rúben Amorim will be a kind of a threat, or in terms of you're a Man United fan now? Would you be in or out?
Oh no, 100% in. Look, you guys have even said it as well. What? I don't see what's the point of sacking him. What? Okay, you bring in. You could even bring in Areola. You could bring in Zidane. Bro, you could bring in Pep Guardiola. I don't see the.
You could bring in bloody Jesus as well. He can't do shit with this team, bro.
Yeah, bro. The funniest thing is, every time a new manager comes in, people are like, it's not the manager's fault, this and that. When it's all this manager, but then the second they start doing bad, bro, it's like they completely forget what they just said. You know what I mean? You have people just. It's funny because I even see on TikTok, people will clip that up. You get what I'm saying? So they'll show the clip of someone, give him time. Make sure you give him time, and then literally.
It's full views.
Another clip of them just saying, "Nah, Amorim out." Bro, yeah, but it's just I don't know, a lot of fan bases are like this. You know what I mean? They're very flip floppy. You know what I mean? Very very reactionary. You know what I mean? And that's football. Football is a reactionary sport. You know what I mean? 1 minute you're at the high, and then 1 minute you're at the lower lows in terms of your mood. But I think you've got to give Amorim time. He is a good manager. He showed it at Sporting. Bro, there were so many clubs that wanted him. Liverpool wanted him, for God's sake, and you know what I mean.
That's true.
He's clearly a good manager. He just needs the time, and I hope he gets it. To be fair, because personally, even though I'm not a United fan, I want to see United do well because I want the league to have more competition. You know what I mean? And bro, we can't be having titles won. With Arsenal and their haram ball, bro. You know what I mean? Astaghfirullah. You know what I mean? We need some good football, some halal football, bro. Bro, it's just a bit too haram up in that top of the league, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Hassan, obviously we've had the boys' opinion.
Yeah.
We've discussed this a lot, obviously on the podcast, off the podcast, in our personal time. Yeah, it's not looking good, and obviously let's just get what are you right now? Because I think before you said you were in, and you were obviously on the edge. What do you think is the right move right now?
Obviously, I'm in at the moment, but I think long term, if the results don't get better, then you have to consider it. Because I think he's got until Christmas, to prove that he's got a good set of form. Because right now Amorim has had no form whatsoever. You cannot win back-to-back games. That's just ridiculous. We haven't won a back-to-back game since I think it was of August of last year, which is a terrible start, it is absolutely stupid. So since his tenure, he's not won with him. Yeah, it's not even with him. It's with Ten Hag. So yeah, it's just a disgusting start. But look, I'm in because I know the club is in a big heap of trouble. It's not just on the manager or on the players. Obviously, you have the ownership as well, the Glazers and stuff. They've been here since 2005. Ruining Old Trafford and everything to do with United. Just taking money out of the club. So I feel like there are deeper problems lying in the club, and I think The manager is just like the tip of the iceberg, you know. You brought in a manager who's got a style of football, knowing that these players are not going to be fully adapted to it, but then you expect them to have instantaneous results. Like, that's not going to happen. We saw with Ange Postecoglou as well. Everyone's like bigging him up, saying, "Oh, like Spurs are playing better now. They got style football," and look how that turned out. You know what I mean? They finished below United, so I feel like it's too easy for people to judge and, you know, criticize Amorim when they don't know what it's like to be Man United manager. Like, I feel like it's one of the hardest jobs in the world, if not the hardest job. So, because you have to deal with the media, you have to deal with the players, you have to deal with, you know, games and, you know, match weeks and all that stuff. So, I feel like it is a very tough job. You can't, you know, just, I mean, we've seen Ten Hag, you know, he completely broke down in his last season. So, it's like, you can't really put it on the manager. The manager needs time, you know. He's made signings, yeah, but not enough signings for him to get the best results. And yeah, I feel like until Christmas, he needs to prove to himself that he's a good coach. But I think Jim Ratcliffe has come out and said they're going to give him at least 3 years in total, you know, before they make a decision, because I feel like we need to give managers time, you know. We've seen it with Fergie as well. He needed 3 to 4 years to win a trophy. So I feel like it's too premature to sack a manager, you know, this early. Especially a manager that we bought from Sporting. We paid compensation for him to come to this club. And if we sack him again, that's another like 20 million down the drain. So it's just not smart, you know, tactics from us. And like, we've done a lot of dodgy signings in general. Like Xerxes, for example, he just sat on the bench rotting, you know. Like, it's just, Ineos had not been proven to be great. I mean, when people came in with Ineos and stuff, thought that we're going to start making, you know, nice, you know, transfer windows, and like, you know, the team will be, you know, in a better state, but it's become more chaotic, if anything, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's just a lot of troubles, and I think Amorim just needs more time. Give him more time, because I definitely see the improvements, but it's just, yeah, you can't expect them to turn this overnight. This is definitely like, he needs 2 transfer windows, in my opinion, to cement his role as a United manager. So I feel like give him more time, and we'll see, hopefully, in the future.
Yeah. Just before we move on to the ownership side of things, I agree with all of you guys. I am Rúben Amorim in too. I think people that you see, most of the people that say Rúben Amorim out, they're there for views. You know what I mean? I think really and truly, you got to think with your head, because the amount of times we've had managers that have done well in the beginning and, you know, then fallen off, and then we decide, yeah, okay, they can't maintain that. But obviously, it's a completely different story with Rúben Amorim. He hasn't had a good period at all. He's had good results, like you look at the Lyon game, the Athletic Club games, but then obviously we lost the Europa League final. City, even the draw at Anfield last season too. You know what I mean? Good results individually, but not a good period of games. He's got an opportunity to do that now. Again, I think obviously with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he was saying he is going to give him time, as Hassan was saying. And, you know, to be honest, I look at Rúben Amorim, yeah, he looks like a broken man. Like, this guy, he's sat in the corner and he's just like waiting. When there's a penalty, there was the Burnley game, he's just sat like this in his chair. He just doesn't know what to do.
Bro, he came in fresh from Monclizzy and everything. Like, he was like proper like dripping and stuff, and now he's just completely dripping with sweat and tears.
You know what I mean, bro?
Game,
Bags under his eyes, you know what I mean? No smile,
he's aged 10 years, man.
There, bro.
Yeah,
bro. And how many interviews has he done, by the way? I swear there's a new interview every day, and it's always like,
it's just my night manager, you know, it's just usual.
Do you know what I mean? That it sort of comes with the title. You know, you're a Man United manager. You're going to be every single day. You know, every hour. You're going to be thinking about it, and you're going to be thought about every single day, pretty much. Yeah, but for me, Rúben Amorim in, because he needs time. Like the boys were saying, you need to back him correctly, and I think over a period of time, you look at clubs like Arsenal. Obviously, I was talking about Haram Ball, but still, he's built a very, very good squad. Like, I think I would take every single swap my squad with them. I'm gassed. Look at the centre backs. Look at the midfield. Look at the attack. It's miles clear of anything we have.
That's a world class team, man.
100%. But it's just, it pisses me off. You know what I mean? You can play some great football with that team, but you're deciding, yeah, let me just score from corners. That's just it. Set pieces.
The thing is, I think they do actually play decent football, but they just can't score from open play for some reason.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, because we were saying, like, oh, yeah, Gyökeres, you bring him in, because we were saying, obviously, they just need a striker as the final piece of the puzzle. Now they're coming up with something.
He's not that guy, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he's not that guy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's coming, he's not really done much. To be fair, not many chances. But then there's another excuse. Oh, yeah, the left wing, you know, Martinelli's washed. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's always a new excuse.
He's been good, to be fair.
Yeah, he's alright. He's coming off the bench. He's coming off the bench, scoring a couple goals.
I've seen this new thing that's going on. Like, basically, someone's saying like Saka what was he? Like, who is it? Like, basically, they're saying Martinelli is a winger that like is Brazilian, if you know what I
Yeah,
mean.
yeah, I've
Not a
seen this.
Brazilian
Yeah.
winger.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I'm
I've seen
saying,
it.
and that's probably the best way to explain him. To be fair, bro.
Yeah, he forgot his Brazilian passport.
Yeah,
You know.
man. It's just
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on with that whole thing. But like, bro, they can't keep making excuses for their team. You know what I mean? Like, if they don't win, I know this isn't, we're not meant to be talking about Arsenal, but bro, if they don't win anything this season, bro, I'd be wanting Arteta out if I'm being honest.
I
But
agree. I think they will win the league, though. I'm not gonna lie.
This is the best
The
opportunity.
signs
I
are
reckon
there.
they'll bottle it. I
I
reckon
think
they'll
so.
bottle it again.
Nah. I think they've
Genuinely.
got it this time.
I don't want them to win it though. The Arsenal fans will be so
Yeah, I don't want
obnoxious,
them
man.
to either.
To be fair, every
Yeah.
year it's like the elephant at the top of the tree. It's like they're at the top right at the beginning, but we always know they're gonna fall or break a branch. Do you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, I think
Sponsored by
it's
Evian, bro.
better for them. It's probably better for them if they're trying to chase Liverpool instead of being ahead, because it puts the pressure on you if you're the ones ahead to keep to stay there. You know what I mean? So I think obviously they are ahead now, but not by much. But you know what I mean? That's why I think they'll collapse. I reckon they'll keep the lead for a long time, like they did in the last few seasons, and then they'll just collapse, bro. And then Liverpool will take over, man.
Yeah, I mean
But anyway, enough about Arsenal.
That's what I'm saying. Enough about Arsenal. You know, you mean they can have their own video? Go find a different channel. But today's Man United based, and one of probably the major parts of why Man United have been so bad over the last couple of years, and over this period ever since Fergie, ownership. You know, we talk about, obviously we did sell a part of the club to Ineos. They've come in and sort of tried to implement and do a job. Listen, it'll take time, but it's going to be difficult, especially because the club's still in debt. You're sacking people left, right, and centre. Not enough is being done. Not enough investment is happening, and it seems like, let's be honest, even though Sir Jim Ratcliffe is a billionaire, he seems broke. It's you know what I mean? It's mad. Like, how can you have that much money and still sack all these people? And not invest it
Not giving lunch to players as well.
Yeah, I think you look at it, and also it's like the stadium itself that we're trying to build. We don't even have the funds for that. We have to we're begging the council to come fund for us. I'm like, that's just not how it is. But I don't know, Ali. What do you think of the ownership? Because obviously they're a major reason why we're so poor.
I think you've already said it. Like, the way Jim Ratcliffe acts, bro, you would think this guy's got no money at all, bro. Like, he's doing the wrong thing. He's sacking the people right at the bottom, like the lunch ladies, the people who are in the dressing rooms, like the kit people, all of that. It's like, come on, bro. Like, they're just working people trying to make a living, and you think cutting those kind of costs is gonna save you the millions that you need. The millions of pounds that you need to build that stadium, to go and sign these players, that revenue that needs to be generated, it's not going to come from those kind of areas. Maybe it is, because I think recently I did see something about, I think we made the most revenue that we've ever made, last season, I think it was.
Yeah,
so maybe we are doing something right, but I feel like when this whole thing about who should come in with that part, I think when the Qataris tried buying us for 5 billion, I can't believe the Glazers didn't sell, bro. They are never going to get a better offer than that. And we know what that Saudi money can do. Look what it's done to Man City. Look what it's done to Newcastle. Even PSG recently, they've been showing signs of, look, we're here to compete with all the big dogs. Fair enough, previously, that Saudi ownership for them wasn't going as great as maybe it should have. But I feel like now it's all being put to good use. And they've shown that, look, we've won the Champions League. That's the highest honour you can achieve at club football, in my opinion. So, I mean, that ownership just changes you as a football club.
100%. There is actually news that, strangely enough, that the Glazers are reportedly considering selling Manchester United before 2027 to maximise their profits. The potential buyers include Sheikh Jassim, who obviously was interested in buying Man United before for Qatar. There's groups from the UAE, even Saudi investors, and several private equity firms. There is no lack of interest in Manchester United. Manchester United are global. They are, let's be honest, they might even be the biggest club in the world in terms of how much they're talked about. We know Real Madrid and Barcelona, they are huge. They're massive. But the thing is, Man United, because they're so bad, they're talked about more. They talk about, Man United from back in the day and all of that. So having these people interested in the football club is obviously a great sign, but it's whether the Glazers will actually this time look to cash in and take that money, because there is a clause as well, I think, with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. If the Glazers have agreed to sell the club as a whole, then Sir Jim Ratcliffe can do nothing about it. He has to just take the money or the percentage of money that the Glazers get, and that's it. Call it a day. It will be the new owner's responsibility. But Butcher, right? Again, obviously as an unbiased point of view, you look at the Glazers, and obviously we know how West Ham also have terrible owners, terrible ownership.
Get me started,
Yeah,
bro.
it's one of those things where like we can compare, because to be fair, you look at it, West Ham and Man United, it's like they're parallel. You know what I mean? Like you just look at them; they're pretty much the same club, but obviously different.
To be
scale,
fair,
you know?
what I'd say is, yeah, literally same problems, different scale though. Because Man United, like, can't be around the bush. They're like, biggest club probably I'd say in the world. Obviously, you got Real Madrid and Barcelona as well. People, Real Madrid probably the biggest club in terms of football. The only reason I say Man United are a bigger club in terms of like popularity is, I think, is just because the history and like everything that goes wrong around with it. I mean, when you look at the media, the team that's talked about the most, like Carl said, is literally Man United, and I think that is just because how bad they're doing for the stature of club that they are. And look, I hope the Glazers, like, bro, I'm not even like I said, I'm not even a United fan, but I want the Glazers out. I want American owners, for the most part, out of the Premier League. Because, bro, I've just heard, that I'm not sure which club it might be, but they might be getting American owners, and if they do, that makes it 14 American owners or something like that in the Premier League. That means, that obviously they're the majority. That's a majority of the clubs, right? That are American owners. When it comes to making decisions for the Premier League, you know what I mean? I'm worried that it will become like an Americanized sport, and the Premier League will become Americanized, because if they want to change something, there's 14 of them now. You know what I mean? If they want to make it like an American sport, they can.
Yeah, have you seen? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Al, but obviously with like the Barca games, the Barca vs Villarreal game. Obviously, that's being played in Miami now. Do you know what I mean? And they don't even have American owners. Obviously, American owners are going to want them to come to America. Do you know what I mean? And like, let's say, I don't know whether you guys have seen, there's some NFL games are being played in the UK. Do you know what I mean? I think that if, like Ali was saying, the majority of American owners, if they come in, they can start playing a percentage of the games in other countries, such as America.
I think the Glazers probably look, whether the Glazers are the first ever American owners in the Prem, God knows. I don't know what it's like, what all that's about, but they're probably the biggest dickheads in terms of American owners in the Premier League at the moment. I don't even think I need to say that. I think you lot know that, and I think every United fan knows that. And look, bro, you could clearly tell they have zero interest in the footballing side of the club. Yeah, you know what I mean? They'll try. Sometimes they'll chuck money at the problem, thinking it'll solve it. Never happens. Most of the time, they're taking money out of the club, though. And like I say, like, my biggest worry is if we get 14 American owners, bro, call it wraps, bro. Because we don't want a lot of these American owners don't care about the footballing side. I'm not gonna say none of them, because that would be way too harsh to say that. Because a lot of these clubs that have these owners are doing well, and these owners seem to care and investing correctly. But like I say again, if the majority of them are American. You know what I mean? Like, you never know what could happen to the sport. Like Carl says, games being played abroad, just for the financial gain. It's just not right, man. Like, what the Premier League has, even like regardless of the American owners, is starting to become more about money every year. You know what I mean? And it's really sad to see, because like it impacts the football. You know what I mean? And something I talked in, I think, the last podcast, and I want to say it again, is like, because of the way the money side of everything's going with the Premier League. I know we always argue that the Premier League's the best league in the world, but the problem is like we not anyone's going to win the league. Let's be honest, it's going to be either Liverpool, City, Arsenal. Yes, we had like Leicester in 2016 who won it. That was an absolute, like, I don't think that'll ever happen again. Like a team like that winning the Premier League like that. It was a literal
1 in a million. Because there was
back in the day,
1 in a million.
Yeah, literally. Bro, back in the day, you're having teams like Blackburn winning the league. You got Leeds, you got Nottingham Forest. It's like these kind of like a nice array if you know a different array of teams winning the Premier League. You'll never
You
get
say that,
now.
but Man United dominated it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. But that's when it started to But like even then, like you still getting in between different teams. Like I'm not on about like now. It's like, bro, like it's been City, Liverpool, City. Literally just City, Liverpool, City, bruv. You know what I mean? We haven't even had Arsenal, bro. I thought maybe Arsenal would change that. These dickheads, bro, still can't win a bloody Prem, bro. Even with three chances, and they still couldn't do it, bro. Whatever. Anyway, but like my point is, because of the money, like, look, even like I talked about in the last podcast, Villa and Newcastle, they're getting close to establishing themselves in the big six, yeah. Yet, because of the money, bro, they're just not able to. And we're talking about Newcastle, who are the richest club in the world, with the owners that they have. Yet they can't even use that as financial gain because of the way PSR is. Now I'm hearing there's going to be a change with the PSR rules, and too right, because I think honestly it's stopping clubs like Aston Villa and even the like smaller clubs to be able to stay in the Prem or really push on and try and establish themselves higher up in the Prem. I think you're either a mid-table team, or if you try to be too ambitious, end up getting relegated. You know what I mean? And it's just the unfortunate truth that we have at the moment. You know what I mean? Even Villa, they had a great season last season, and even the season before, and now even they had a bit of a struggling start to the season, and that was down to PSR, I'd say. And yeah, sad to see really, but hopefully they can change the rules and it can improve, and then we can go back to having different teams winning the Premier League. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Probably not even for decades, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, Hassan. Obviously, we were just talking about how there are multiple people interested in buying the football club. Obviously, Qatar would be lovely. UAE, any of these people that. We talk about how sometimes oil money is destroying football. I mean, obviously, like Ali was saying too. Obviously, PSG, Newcastle, Man City, all these guys got money, and you see PSG, as again Ali was saying, they have finally started to take over. They started to win the big titles and compete, and even they were in the Club World Cup final too. Listen, it's one of those things where I think if we get that investment, it would be great, but. Is there a certain thing you think Manchester United should focus on? Like, let's say, obviously, we are in the process of building a new stadium. I just wanted to know, in that context, do you think that potentially getting these owners could be a massive hindrance or not?
I don't know, to be honest. I feel like with the ownership situation, it's kind of complicated. You can't look at it one way or the other. It's kind of like you need to obviously look at different options and stuff, what they bring to the football club. I think we missed a big chance on Jassim. He could have come in, cleared the debt in the club, because that's what the Glazers did. The moment they came into the football club, they bought the club with a loan and they put the club in debt. I don't know how much it was. I think it was like 400 million or something like that. So it's just crazy. The first thing they did was put debt on the club just to buy it, and secure the funds and sell it on later. Look, I don't want to attack anyone for whether from whatever, but all I'm going to say is the rich and American, so that equals a certain equation, you know what I mean? So yeah, they're very stingy. They don't want to let go of the club. They just want the money to themselves. I think he offered 5 million, Sheikh Jassim, but I think what they evaluate the club to be is around 8 to 10 billion, which is crazy. In my opinion, I don't think United is worth that much, and I think they just want too much money, or just try and price them up higher and try and ask for more money.
They just didn't want to sell to them, man.
Yeah. It's kind of like a girl, she says Mahara's like 100k, she doesn't want to marry you, bro. Like, just move on, find the next one, you know what I mean? It's too much, man. At this point, yeah, they're just trying to say, we don't want to sell the club, we're not interested, just move on. But I think that was a big opportunity missed for us. We could have had the good ownership, and I agree with Carlos what he says about the Arab ownership kind of ruining football a little bit, because the rich clubs are getting much richer, a lot of squad depth from signing a lot of players and stuff. PSL does help and limit that, but it can't fully prevent that, obviously, especially if your club already has a lot of good players. You can sell them on and just buy new ones. But yeah, I feel like if in order to compete nowadays, you need a good ownership. And we've seen the likes of Nottingham Forest right now, how the ownership has kind of led to a downfall. With the Greek owner, he's kind of fucked the whole club. You know what I mean? Like he's let go of Nuno, who was doing well for us, and the club's in a mess right now, and they've got Postecoglou now. He's on a 007 run as well. You know, no wins, no draws, nothing. Like, it's sad
First
to see him
manager
go.
on a 007.
Yeah,
That is
I know,
like
man.
for a big club like that.
He
You
is
know what I mean?
horrible. He's actually terrible.
Yeah, I know. It's sad for them because they're on a good momentum. They're in Europe as well. So
Yeah, I can't believe.
I'm sure that he always wins things in the second season. Yeah, I'm sure he'll win.
I don't think he's winning shit.
Get to that
season,
second
bro.
season.
He's
Yeah,
winning
the
the championship.
That's what he'll win.
He's not going to be there.
Yeah, no, I feel so bad for Forest fans because they'll see the club going on a good trajectory, and then all of a sudden they sack the manager, and then it stalls all the momentum that they had. So
Yeah, it's mental.
yeah, so I feel like
That's
ownership
all the
is
owner's
important.
fault.
Yeah, I know, 100%, man. He used too much of his emotions in the way. I feel like in football, right? Yeah, emotions get in the way. We've seen players fall out of managers, but you have to stay professional, you know, because it's your job at the end of the day.
100%.
Even if you despise the manager that is managing your team, right, and you're the owner, you should still keep it professional. I know that he's the best option for your club, right? So keep him in there just for the sake of your job. You may not like him as a person, but you know, just keep him there for the job. You know what I mean? But a lot of people just got too much egos, you know. So you know, they got just yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but that's what I'm gonna say. Really, like ownership is very important, and I feel like United, you know, obviously it would be great the Glazers sell, but we'll have to see. You know, I think that's down to what the Glazers think is good for them.
To be fair, I saw obviously the values of the top 10 valued football clubs in the world. We're still second place, which is insane. Like after this period of just being poor for so long, we're still like worth 5.7 billion pounds, or was it dollars, or you know, it was still around that price mark. So, you know, to be fair, you chat about the Glazers. Okay, 8 to 10 billion is stupidly priced. But a 5 million bid to 6 million bid, you've got to consider it. I think it's only fair. But I will say one thing about Ineos. They have, to be fair, in terms of ownership, it takes time, because obviously you look at how Man United's structure was before they came in. The CEO was, you know, all over the, was it Ed Woodward, and then we had Richard Arnold and all these guys, you know what I mean, come in and completely messed up the club. We didn't even have a director of football. We didn't know of any of these like positions. There was like director of football intelligence, or yeah, you know what I mean, all these mad names, and do you know what I mean? We didn't have any of these in place, but now we've got people from other clubs that are doing well. So we have Christopher Favell, who's come in from RB Leipzig and had a job at Chelsea too. You know, known for buying all these great young players. You know, we can say all we like, but I think Sesko is a good, like, in terms of obviously price tag is a lot, but he's a good signing. I think it will, if he can continue to score goals like he's been doing the last 2 games. You know, he could be a very important player for us, so that's a good signing. And we were talking about how we've been signing players from foreign countries in terms of, you know, that Colombian kid. I saw there was a kid also. Oh, we also signed Kone as well. Is he from Mali? I think he's from Mali.
Yeah, something like a season or 2 ago, I think. It's been a while now.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Again, that was still during the Ineos regime. Like, listen, we're not known for making these signings, especially in the Glazer era. So it's a good start. You have to sort of wait for one of these players to break through, though, before you can sort of make a judgment. But interestingly enough, I actually think we need to see what Ineos can do. Obviously, if we get the Arab owners that come in and buy the club, I'm happy. You know what I mean? But it was one of those things where I think if Ineos do get some time, you will see massive amount of improvement. Because obviously the Glazers had no care, but obviously now that Ineos have taken over the footballing side of things, we're going to see big improvements over the years to come. And I'm not saying we're going to get stadiums straight away, because it's still projected to be actually open in 2030. But me and Butch have discussed this previously. We think that'll be delayed by probably 5-10 years. Like, still, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think with Ineos, you're right. I think they will get things done, but I think it will just be the time. You know what I mean? I think with them, it will take a very long time. Whereas if you had like someone like Qatar ownership, it would happen much quicker, because obviously the amount of money that they have and would be able to invest. I don't think Ineos are necessarily bad, but I think just because of the funds that they have, like, it's just going to take them so much longer, and it's going to be so much harder to get what they want done. You know what I mean? But yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see whether they get sold or if they're going to have to stick with Ineos.
To be fair, with what was I going to say with Ineos and Jim Ratcliffe, if one good thing's come out is the memes, like the Mazraoui Ramadan memes, like Mazraoui, like Jim Ratcliffe, when he realizes that Mazraoui's fasting, doesn't have to give him lunch or whatever. Like, yeah, like those memes are like they kill me, I swear. Like, Like, but it's just crazy, you know. Like, as I think Ali was saying about like the dinner ladies getting sacked, and like, I mean, there are certain jobs I think that Jim Ratcliffe cracked. It was like something to do with like mental health, like officer or whatever. There was a guy earning 100,000 for some is like psychiatrist like earning 100K, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. So I feel like with those type of jobs, yeah, like it makes sense to, you know, cut off, you know, those type of, you know, people in the workspace. But I feel like when it comes to like the din ladies and stuff, people that earn, you know, a living and stuff, like it's not fair on them at all. You know, you just like make them lose their jobs. They got families to provide for and all that. So yeah, I just think it's unfair, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agreed. You know, it will take time. I think he's made some major calls, obviously sacking people left, right, and centre, whether that be footballing side, whether that be media side, whether that be, as you say, food side. You know, every sort of, I think we sacked off about 50% of the workforce or something crazy like that, which obviously a club of this magnitude is just, yeah, so many different people being released from their job. But I think, guys, we've talked about Man United a lot today. It's been a very interesting video. We've obviously talked about different topics, players, manager, ownership. Let's just say one thing for sure. The club's a mess. It needs time. Let's see what happens. Hopefully we get a new ownership, but you know, that's pretty much it really, guys. Thank you guys for coming in. We also want to thank Ali for, you know, coming on as the guest appearance. Al, if you want to give us, you know, a couple of words before you know.
Yeah, I just want to say, what should I say? Should I say about United? I'll just say that, yeah, United are a mess. Need to pattern
Plug your
up.
TikTok if you want.
One thing I wanted to say is that this next game we have, the Liverpool game, must win. If we win that, 100%. I think Amorim saved himself. But yeah, overall, I just want to say it's been a pleasure. Loved being on the podcast, enjoyed it. A lot of very intellectual football conversations going on. I can see that you guys clearly know what you're doing. Love the setup, all three of you. I love the personalities, got good connections and that. So yeah, thank you for having me on. Bro. Yeah, my TikTok is OK Ali, if you might want to go check that out. Of course, bro. No worries,
we'll make sure to put it in the description. Don't worry, and it'll always be in the description.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
100%. Yeah, it's been a great pleasure, and you're more than welcome to come on anytime you want, Ali. So it was great having you on this video. So before we end the video, we just want to give you the quiz for the new player. Al, if you want to go ahead and give us that.
Yes, so the first fact is he was born in Lyon, France, but grew up in London and started his career in the non-league system before moving into the Football League. The second fact is, during his time at Crystal Palace, he once recorded a Premier League hat-trick against Sunderland, the first ever in his professional career. The third fact, he represented Dominican Republic Congo in multiple Africa Cup of Nations tournaments, helping them finish third in 2015. Fourth fact, after leaving Everton, he had several loan spells abroad, including with Sporting CP in Portugal and Anderlecht in Belgium. And for the fifth final fact, he was known for an extremely high 5-star skill rating in the FIFA video game, making him a fan favourite among gamers even when he wasn't playing regularly. So yeah, let us know if you know who that is in the comments. I'm sure you'll get that, guys, and yeah, we'll obviously reveal him in the next video.
I mean, from the facts alone, it sounds like it's one of those players that are Premier League legend. I mean, the Premier League. What's the word?
Streets
Barclays man. Yeah, he's a Barclays man. That's the word. Yeah. So thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate it. Please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you get notified every time I upload videos. And we will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.
See ya.
Take care.